Hello, everyone who have joined. Sorry. So we will start in 4 minutes. I hope my speaker is somewhere close to me. And while Nicole Anders is preparing, I'm going to repeat a couple of announcements. So my name is Odrus. Right now I'm joining from my home office, as most of you do. I live in Kaunas, and I'm really happy to be part of this worldwide community and give my time to help moderate these modern workplace sessions. I believe right now it's really hard to imagine tomorrow without modern workplace. So I'm really glad I'm here with all the speakers and experts and audience who are interested in hearing what speakers have to share. And let's have a great learning day today together. So if I would ask Nicole, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So as we do have Nicole, I'm really happy to be introducing her. Yesterday there was a lot of speakers from overseas. Right now it's a fellow continent speaker from Germany, Nicole Anders. She's an amazing expert on the subject, and I really how she wrote in the description of the speech that difficult things can be presented really simple, and they can actually give you the results and value just straight away. There is no need to finish the bachelor degree. You just need to know what you need and how you can put these things to work. So Nicole, if you're ready, I see Russ joined as well.
Mhm. I think I will share my screen.
Yes, you can share your screen and you can turn on the camera if it's possible. I still can't see you, I guess.
I turned my camera on.
Okay, and then it's maybe me. Or you can try switching it on and off.
Yeah,
Just,
one moment. So off and on again. So I see
yeah.
I see my it's as the thumbnail at the bottom.
Yeah, right now I see you as well. So hope everyone else does as well. So thank you. You can start,
Okay,
Nicole.
cool. Then welcome to my session. It's a modern workplace track we are here. I want to go a little bit further, so I want to talk with you about the intelligent workplace. And I have a demo example about the AI builder. We are using Power Apps, Power Automate, and then we will see an integration into Microsoft Teams, because I don't know how it's for you. For me, Microsoft Teams is my main tool for the daily business. So it's the first application I open every morning, and I'm doing a lot of meetings. I'm doing a lot of stuff right there. So I cannot imagine how it was before we had Microsoft Teams. Um, but I have a first question before I really start with the session. So maybe think about, do you have an intelligent workplace? I think during the past months, we really could see how our companies were dealing with different challenges. So, for example, in my company, we had the situation that how everybody else, we were in the home office, and we had some internal processes which were begun per paperwork. So you had to fill out a form, you had to print it, you signed it, and then you had to hand over it to another person. And then with everybody in the home office, it was not going so well, because for example, I was once a week or once every 2 weeks in the office. And so it could take a really long time to get everything done. So a process which took nearly half a day in 2019 was now taking 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, and if we are thinking about intelligence, yeah, I think about robots and some other stuff, but maybe we can start a little bit earlier. So what can be intelligence? Intelligence can be automatic processes. And you will see I have in my demo, I have friend very close to me, and she will tell you a story about this. So a few words from my side. I'm working as a managing consultant for a company here in Germany, and I think I'm working with Microsoft products my whole life. So when I was doing my apprenticeship, I learned SharePoint, and when Office 365 came up, I was exploring what's going on there, and I like the different possibilities, because today we need solutions where we can build our processes or applications very easily. So we don't need a hardcore software developer for every problem. We can do a lot of things by our own. That's a low code sector. And I think I don't tell too much for my demo scenario when I tell you that we will be in the low code sector there, and we have a lot of stuff we can do with the tools right there. My main topics are around about collaboration, modern workplace. So how can we improve our daily life? And you can see it as well there. I'm writing a lot of books. They are all in German, but they're all about these topics. And at the moment, I'm doing a lot of stuff around about Microsoft Teams and the Power Platform. Yeah, but let's think about our modern workplace. If you are in the Microsoft world, then you have an Office 365 account. And if you log into office.com, then you may see a similar view as I have here. And if I wouldn't know all these tools, then I would say, oh my God, it's so much. Do I really need to know every tool here, or can I start with a subset? So maybe 2 or 3 tools right there. And it depends which tools you choose. So I love to talk about use cases. So if you choose your tool, then think about the use cases. What do you want to achieve? And for example, in my company, as we started with SharePoint, document management was a very important use case. So before we used a tool like SharePoint, somebody started to write a document, and then he saved it on his PC. And there was always the moment when this person needed somebody else who had to look on this document, or who had to write a chapter in this document. And then what was he doing? He sent the document via an email attachment to the other person. And maybe not only to one person, maybe to 3 persons. And they forwarded this email again and again. And at the end, the poor person got 6 or 7 different versions back. And he had all the work to aggregate now everything and have one single document again, because he didn't know who wrote something and then forwarded this new version to somebody else. And as we introduced SharePoint, we improved the daily business, because we now send a link to the central document location, and everybody can work on this document at the same time. You don't need to think about, is it the right version, or do I need to wait for somebody else, or whatever. So if you are working with documents, then SharePoint can be your right tool, or maybe OneDrive if you want to have this personal document location and then decide to share the document with somebody else. Project and teamwork is also a point. So if you want to work together in a team, and you have some projects, then you need to organize your tasks, and you want to share knowledge in your team in different ways. So Microsoft Teams is a central hub for everything, but working together on tasks, that can be planner. Sharing knowledge can be the wiki in Teams, but it can also be some kind of videos which are stored in Microsoft Stream. So, for example, in my team, we are doing a lot of trainings, and we are recording these trainings. And then you have very short videos in Stream, and everybody can watch them, even the persons who couldn't attend the training. Yeah, and as I mentioned, Microsoft Teams, for all the conversations. So if I want to exchange information with each other in a chat, or if I want to have a phone or a video call, or all the meetings I'm attending at the moment or in the last months, they're all done with Microsoft Teams. And I cannot imagine how it should work without such a tool. So I know that there are some other tools out there on the market, but what I really like is if you only think about document management, conversations, and the management of tasks and knowledge, that you have a central or common UI with Microsoft Teams. And if you think about some more information, like company-wide information, then everybody may think about an intranet. But what's an intranet? An intranet is also a central location where every employee can access information which is relevant for him or her, and he can access processes and so on. So this can be SharePoint, that can be a special intranet solution, or maybe it's also included into Microsoft Teams. Think about the org-wide teams, which are possible. And that's very important for my company, networking. We are more than 1,000 people in our company, and I don't know everybody on a personal relationship. So I love that we have a network with Jammer, so I can see who is interested in which topics, which groups are out there, and I can follow other people, and I can see what they are doing. And so that's a way for me to meet people where I didn't know that they were employees in this company before. And this is our topic for today. We are focusing on a lot of information management for now, but we have also the option to support and to integrate business processes at the location where we need them. And there you will see how the Power Platform can help us in the combination with Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams, I think we don't need a real introduction into Microsoft Teams, because everybody of us is working with this tool in some different ways. And these are the main use cases I can imagine. So it's a lot of about teamwork, and this can be a project team. This can be an organizational unit. So the department, for example, you can create communities. You can collaborate with external people like customers and partners. And you can also do events like our event today, phone calls, and it's also available for digital learning. So if you think about homeschooling, for example. Yeah, and what about the business processes? I want to introduce you to Tanya. Tanya is a very close friend, and she is working for our HR department. And she has some kind of a double role. So she's also doing some stuff for creating our invoices. And she's listening to me when I tell her that we are building solutions for our customers with the Power Platform, or in the past with SharePoint. And what she really likes is the idea of the low-code platform, so that everybody can work on this business application creation process. And a few months ago, she told me, Nicole, we need a business application. You have no idea how is it going at the moment when we need to write the invoices. So I get service reports. So in our company, we are working as consultants, and at the end of the month, we need to create a service report. And then the customer needs to sign this document, and we use the signed version to create the invoice later on. And in most of the projects, it's the case that, for example, when I'm the consultant, then I will create the service report, and I will hand over the signed service report to Tanya. She creates the invoice. So it's split in two parts. Yeah, and now Tanya told me, yeah, every consultant and even every project manager is doing it in a little different way. So she needs to be really flexible. And now she wants to have a standard solution. For example, I upload the signed service report to a SharePoint team site, which is used for my project. And I send the link to Tanya and tell her, here, you can create the invoice. That's a service report for example, March. And there are other project managers who are doing it in a different way. So for example, they are sending it as an email attachment. And if you have multiple consultants in your project, in some cases, the project manager sent multiple emails. Other project managers send only one email with all the signed service reports in it. In some other cases, the project manager only tells her, okay, here there will be a signed service report. I don't have it at the moment. And the worst case scenario for Tanya is that somebody tells her, yeah, I have the printed version and it's lying on your desk in the office. Because Tanya is also working in the home office. And then she knows, okay, I need to go to the office. I need to scan the document, and then I can use it for the creation of my invoice. Yeah, and as Tanya told me that we need a business application, I said, okay, what are you thinking about? Do you have a standard solution in your mind, or what do you really want? And she said to me, oh, Nicole, it would be the best solution if you build me such a business application. You told me about the low-code stuff, so it should be very easy for you. Yes, that could be an option. But I told Tanya, the world has changed. So sorry, I love Lord of the Rings. So in all of my sessions, I like to do this here. But I think about this sentence. So think about the quote, the world has changed. If we talk about low-code solutions, then the idea behind the solution is very clear. So everybody should be able to build a business application. You don't need to be a software developer. You don't need to be a deep dive technical person. It's time for the citizen developers. So you can build your own app. And if you know a lot of the rings, then you know that these 4 persons here, these are some hobbits. They're very small persons, but in this movie and even in the story itself, they are the real heroes. So they are able to do something which they couldn't imagine that they can do it. And I think that's very similar to everybody else who is doing a business job like Tanya is doing this. And I said to her, here, think about the Power Platform. Power Platform has a lot of stuff. You don't need to use everything here. But if you start with a few tools right here, you can build your solution by your own, and you are the expert about the process. So you don't need to tell a software developer what you're thinking about, and maybe he don't understand it in the right way. Think about what you want to do, and you only need to learn how to use these tools. And it's very easy, so I will explain it to you now. It depends which tool you use to start right now. So for me, for example, I started with Power Apps, but I also know that there are other persons who started with Power Automate. So Power Automate, for example, is very easy if you are using SharePoint at the moment, you want to create a process maybe for an approval. For me, Power Apps was the choice because I wanted to create a mobile version of a SharePoint list. Yeah, and you see the other symbols here at the bottom: data connectors, AI Builder, and Dataverse. Dataverse, you can think about a central data location for every data in your company. The AI Builder, that's a component we will see in a few seconds. And data connectors, that's the way how to connect different systems and to build your whole business process. So think about an SAP system, or about SharePoint, or you want to integrate Planner and so on. So these are different data connectors which are available to be used, for example, in Power Automate or in Power Apps. And you will see one or two data connectors in the demo also. So what is about the service report I was talking about? So you see here an example of such a service report. And what can we see here? It's a PDF. And a PDF is nothing else as an image you have to think about. And the service report, if you see it here at the top left corner, you have a header, and it's called service report. Then you have some kind of subtitle. On the top right corner, you have an icon, but that's not really important. But after this, you have the creation date of the service report. And then you have a list of information in some kind of a header section. So it starts with the contract number and it ends with the name of the consultant. In this case, it's Daniel Beckett. And after this, you see a data table with all the single tasks of the consultant, and it ends up with a total. So I know in this service report that 56 hours were the effort of this consultant in the project. I know the contract number, the decision maker. I even know our internal project manager and the project number. And that's all information which is needed by Tanya. And as she told me that she has different ways how she gets the information, in every case, she has to look on the document, she has to open the PDF and to extract the information by herself. And it would be so nice if she wouldn't need to do this anymore, because she got a list. She has the document, but she has a list with all the information that is extracted of the document. And that's where we are talking about the AI Builder. I show you the AI Builder here in the slides because it's taking too long in a live demo, but we will see it as a few steps in the live demo. I wanted to make sure that you get everything because one step is taking very long and we would have to wait for a longer time. So if you go to Power App Studio, then you have a navigation item in the left navigation. So it's called AI Builder, and you have two sub menu items. So one is called Build, the other is called Models. And if you click on Build, then you get a list as you see it here. And we will use the form processing option of the AI Builder because we want to extract information of a form. And if you click on the form processing here, then you get a pop-up and you have to name your AI model. I named my AI model Service Reports because I want to extract information of service reports. So it makes sense to use a similar name. And then if you were working with the AI Builder, for example, last year, then this is very important because the whole UI has changed for creating a new AI model. Here, for example, in the past, you got the option to upload documents, the real service reports, and then to analyze them. Now you have a step before, so you have to define your data model. Which information do you want to extract? So you have fields, and currently in preview are the tables. And as you remember, we had a data table in our service report. And here you enter the field name, you press enter, and then you have the different fields here. So I said I want to know the project number, project name, project timeline, the customer, and so on. And I also did this with tables. So I said I will have a data table there, and I want to call it effort details, for example. And then I have to define which columns will be there. But as you can see, all the information is text. There's no option at the moment to say, okay, this data will be a date time and this data will be a number, all extracted as a text. If you click on next, then you will have the option to upload documents. And that's also something new if you compare it to last year, because now you can create so-called collections. So if you think about service reports and there are different layouts of service reports, then you can create a collection for each different layout and upload documents to this. You will need minimum 5 documents for each collection to create a good model. And if you add these documents, you will get a preview if you added the documents, as you can see it here. And then you can click on Analyze. And if you did this, then you will be navigated to such a wizard, and you see each of your uploaded and analyzed documents. You see on the right side, you have here a navigation to go from one document to the other. And in each document, you have the list of your fields. And if you would scroll down, you would also get the data tables, which were defined by you in the first step. And then you click in the different documents and you create your model. So I think it's here. Let's see, it comes a step later. So you click, for example, here on this data value, and then you assign it to the contract number. And you get a check mark here for each field which was selected by you. And if you're fine with this, then you can go to the next document and so on. And at the end, you get a summary of your model. You can click on train. If you do this, then it takes a while. So the analyze step takes a while and the train step takes a while. That's why I decided to not do this live in this demo. And if it's ready, then you can publish your model. Please don't forget to publish your model. And after this, you can use your model. And if you click on use, then you will be asked if you want to use this in a flow in Power Automate, or if you want to create a Power App. I decided to do a Power App, and that's the last step. So you can create your first app to scan service reports. And that's what I want to do now. So let's build a business application with the AI Builder and integrate it later on into Microsoft Teams. Yeah, and one moment. Here we are. So first, I want to show you how it's going on in Microsoft Teams. So Tanya had created a team called Service Report Management, and she decided to use the general channel for real general stuff. So she wants to explain how the process is going on, what are the different roles in this process, and whatever. And she created a second channel to do the service report scan, because from now on, she wants that everybody will upload the service reports via this app. and she has a central location and she can organize her work as she really needs to do this. So service report scan, we have posts, files, and wiki. These are the standard tabs. But she created a second document library in the SharePoint site, which is belonging to this team room, and called the service the document library service reports. And yes, you can see we have 3 documents right there, but it's not looking in the way as she really needs this. So I opened this here in the second tab. And she has also added a planner plan because she needs some task management right here. And she integrated the service report scan Power App here. So if I click on this, then the Power App should open. And it's very easily for me as a consultant or as a project manager. So I click on Analyze, I select my documents when I get it back from the customer, and then I can see if every information is right because I get a preview and I can share this with the team. In most of the cases, when I have a printed document, I would take a picture because I can also use this app via my tablet or my smartphone. And then I can also use this process as well. So think about the document library. We are looking here. Here are these 3 documents. But as you can see, we have a lot of more metadata here. And these are important for Tanya at the moment. I explain you when we uploaded our next service report. Because here is my app. And I tell you how to use this. Here are my service report. I use here Eve morning because I didn't upload this so far. And as you see here, it's been analyzed. So the AI model and the AI builder behind it tries to extract data of this document. And as you see here, okay, it says the consultant is called Eve Morning. The project number is this one, and the project name is called external website. The service report, oh my God, it's old. It's from May last year. So shame on you, Eve Morning, that it took so long. And here are the details which were in the data table. And we have a total of 68 hours. And now I can say, okay, I want to share this with the team. Now a flow in Power Automate is triggered, and it uploads the document in the SharePoint document library. So, and I get here a screen that the service report has been uploaded. Okay, I can go back and I can upload the next one. So, for example, when I'm doing service reports at the end of the month, and I'm doing this for several projects, I can use the app how long I want, and everything will be there. And as you can see here, here's our new service report, Eve morning. Tanya could open the document, but she could also work with this information here. So she sees, oh, okay, this contract number, she has changed the view here that it has an aggregation with the project number. And she says, okay, project name is external website. It's consultant Eve morning. She sees the report date. She sees the customer, decision maker, project manager, and even the timeline. So you see it's more information as we saw in the Power App. And this is because we didn't show this data in the Power App screen, but we had the information and we used this in the flow. And I want to show you how we are doing this. So if you think about Power Apps, I opened the Power App already, and you see that's the screen here. And this control here, that's a component if you would do this by your own, because you may already have an AI model, then you can go to Insert, AI Builder, and you use the form processor component. If you add this to your screen, it would be a lot of larger as I have it here. Here at the moment, I don't want to have such a huge view here because I have some other labels and data tables here to show my information. But think about the properties. Yeah, I have a text here, so I could change it and say upload service report. You see, I have to think about how large it should be, so maybe I only call it upload. It's looking better. And here in the properties, you see AI model. And here I can select between all the published AI models. So I have one for demo circumstances, and I have one which I'm using here in this app already, and nothing more. So this is my component to extract information. And as you see here in the overview, I didn't leave the name as it was per default. So per default, this component would be called Form Processor 1, but I'm a software developer, so sorry, I need to rename this component, and I called it Scanner. And if I go now to one of my labels, I said, okay, I want to concatenate a default string with some value of the extracted information. So I have a concatenate function. Consultant is my default string. And then I say, okay, scanner fields consultant. So as you remember how we created the AI model, we had fields and we had tables. So here we are with the fields, and we want to have the consultant name. So consultant was one of the defined fields in the AI model. I can do it a little bit more complex. So I have another concatenate function, and I'm using the field project number and project name. And here, think about if you are using a space in the field name, then you have to use here this convention that the formal builder here now knows that it's one field. And here in this data table, I'm going to here to report items. I also named my data table component here. I have items as a property, and now I'm using tables. And here in this model, I didn't name my table in the right way, so it's called table_0. That was the default name in the past before we got the new UI for creating an IA model. Yeah, and now I'm using table 1, and then I can say, okay, added fields, and here are all my fields. If I remove one of these fields, I can add it again. I can change the order, so maybe I want to have the description first. So it's via drag and drop, and you see it immediately here. So I can change it again. Maybe I don't want to see the consultant level, whatever. It's up to me. And here, total, that's a simple concatenate function again. So, and share with team, that's where the magic happens, because everything you saw here is only showing information. That's not what stores our document in SharePoint. So what's going on here? Here we have upload service report, and we are calling a run function. That's when we are calling a flow in Power Automate. So our flow is called upload service report, and that's also the name of our data connector. So, and here between the brackets, I have all the parameters. So you also see a scanner fields. Here's the way where I decide how my file name should be built, and then I have different other fields. And if you go to the flow, so see here, upload service report, that's a flow which is triggered by Power Apps. So you need to create such a flow with the Power Apps trigger. And then I have only a create file action here. And that's very easy. I choose my site, I choose the service reports document library, and then I ask in Power Apps for different information. So I ask for the file name. I ask for different properties when we are here in the update file properties section, which is going here right after and adds the the metadata. You have only one other action here, that's the compose action, where I will transform the document itself to a PDF. So if we go back here, you see that here's one special place. I'm using the property original image, and that's the image itself. So it can be the PDF I uploaded, but it can also be the picture I took with my camera when I'm using the Power App on a mobile phone, for example. So that's it for the demo itself. So I go back for my last slide. So I know it was only a short introduction, but think about that. There are so many business processes out there that you have teams and you want to integrate a business process, and maybe you want to support it with an app. And the first step you have to take is take responsibility. So it's up to you. You have to decide that you want to change something. And if you want to do this, then learn to use the tools of the Power Platform. For example, as I showed here, Power Apps or Automate and the AI Builder. Create a quick win solution. I know the solution was very small, but for the beginning, it's enough to do this. And don't take a too large or too complex scenario. And that's nearly the last point. Teamwork. Select colleagues, inspire other people, and do it as a team, because then you have so much fun. I love this in my company when I'm working together with my colleagues on some new stuff. And sharing is caring. So talk about what you are doing, even if you think that everybody else already knows what you have learned. There's always a person who likes or is thankful if you have talked about this topic. So please do this. Yeah, and I hope that you enjoyed the session. I had a lot of fun. Here are already the feedback QR codes. And now I'm looking for if there are some questions.
Thank you, Nicole, for an amazing presentation. You know, you make it look so easy. But when you open, there is so many buttons there, you know. And what do you say to the people who are afraid of so many buttons? Like, do they start pressing one by one, or they just start learning by doing, or first read on the Microsoft, you know, learning something? What would be the suggestion?
Don't be afraid about too many buttons. So for me, for example, it's the way to focus on something, and that's what I mean with the quick win solution. So I know that there's a lot of stuff, for example, in Power Apps, what you can insert and so on. And for example, I focused on, I want to add a label, I want to add a button, and then I checked out if I can read this model. And the next step was, okay, I need to get familiar with Power Automate, because I want to store something in my document library. And then I focused only on the creation of a very simple flow. And last but not least, you combine this. So it's step by step. Don't think too complex if you start with this.
Okay, great. So when other people are thinking of the question, I invite everyone to share your camera and join us in the virtual together mode with Nicole to make a Teamsy. I'm trying to think a nice name was not a selfie. It's like togetherly, how you would call it. So we are just here, two of them. Yeah, we see people are joining. So who else will join our stage for a together selfie? Hey, nice, nice. So our crowd is getting bigger. So Nicole, here are the people who are listening to you.
That's so cool to see you.
Okay, so everybody smile. Give your best smiles. Yeah, we have more. Okay, if someone else comes, I need to retake the picture. So Yeah, more. Okay, so I think more people are coming for the pictures. No, there was more than 20. Okay, nice. Nice. So who enjoyed the presentation? Please raise your real hands in the ear. Yeah, and now let's take a picture of that as well. Okay, nice. Thank you. So if anybody wants, to give a comment, or as we have a cameras on, you can, give a shout out to Nicole. Thank for her presentation. It was really wonderful, and for me as well. I'm kind of eager to go and check. Is that really that easy? So, Nicole, any last words? Did you enjoy the presentation, the crowd?
Yeah, it's always so much fun. If somebody wants to have a chat with me, please contact me. You find me nearly on every social media platform. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole, and enjoy other sessions as well as a listener. You did your part as a speaker. Thank you. And I thank everyone who joined and invite you to wait for another 15 minutes for another presentation. Or wait, I'll check if there's going to be one. So thank you, Nicole. You can give a
You're
comment.
welcome.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
stick around.
yeah.
15 minutes of a chatter, it didn't hurt nobody. So uh,
Yeah,
also,
I love this a lot of more if you are in a real room together, because then you see so much more on reactions if you lost somebody, or if everything is fine. But I'm so happy that we have these chances here.
yeah,
Um,
that's good. I think more and more we're going to do that. More screen speakers will have, one screen for together mode, one screen for presentation, one screen for the notes. And you'll be able to see, who's tired, who's, impressed by the presentation. And it's really important for as a speaker. So at least we have a nice picture where everyone's waving, thanking you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. And I see in the background you have a nice, planner as well there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a analog kind of planner, so it's my whiteboard, and I have these magnetic cards, and I try to do some kind of a Kanban board there. So every time when I see something, for example, as I was joining the Ignite, I said, okay, Microsoft Beaver is a topic for me, and here Microsoft Mesh. I'm really expressed of Microsoft Mesh, so the whole mixed reality stuff.
It blew my mind, it blew my mind when the everyone were having a party with the music playing. It was like, what? It's the real? And so I was really impressed there as well.
Yeah, I didn't recognize that Microsoft bought Altspace VR a few or last year or whatever. And then as they told, okay, now our event will be in Altspace VR, I was really surprised. But I said, okay, I like this idea, so I volunteered as the moderator there. And then I was
Nice,
walking from one room to the other.
nice. Okay, that's great. So I have one question, last questions. Like before you start any app development, do you take pen and paper and just throw it on the paper before you start developing and pressing the buttons? Is it important to just wire the idea down before you go to work?
Yeah, that I have to explain why I have to smile, because some of my colleagues say, okay, you need to write a concept, and you need to think about this, and you have this pen and paper work. But I love to do the stuff in the real solution. So when I think about InfoPass was in the past a similar tool to do this. I was always doing my form in InfoPass already, and now I'm doing this in Power Apps the same. And even for SharePoint solutions, I'm creating SharePoint lists, and I check if everything what I'm thinking about is working. And then maybe you have to say, okay, it's not working. I have to try it in a different way. But I'm not so good in writing documents or large concepts before.
No, yeah, lists and tables are better for me than the documents because it's really, hard to read the documents and work in the documents. But I think right now the whole concept of Viva, of this organizational memory, bringing it in the list, making sense of what's inside the organization, it's really interesting where we will be. Okay, so I see, guys, I am sorry. So the next session, which we should had, like it's not just SharePoint and Exchange by Stacy DeRee. I see a note that unfortunately, on unfortunate circumstances, the speaker had to cancel. So there's going to be an hour of silence or me blabbing about something, I'm gonna be sticking around. So if someone will want to chat or ask questions in the chat, I'll be there monitoring. And see you next session in 5 p.m. CST. So in 1 hour and 10 minutes. So Nicole, which session you enjoyed? Like, have you listened of some session?
No, I have to check the schedule now to think about which session I will see next. Yeah. Yes, yesterday it was not possible for me because I had too many other stuff in my company to do.
I mean, doing a lot of speeches, presentations in your company, because 1,000 people is a lot. Like it's an auditorium from them already.
Yeah, for me it's since April, so since last week Thursday, I have my new position as a managing consultant, and now I have a lot of work to do. So doing a lot of speeches, checking out what's going on, because modern workplace is such a huge topic. And I don't want to focus only on Microsoft technologies. I also want to see what's going on in other for other vendors, for example, and what's about the new work stuff, because then you have a complete technology-free component right there. Yeah, so much stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think what fascinates me, because a lot of too many companies have the tools, but they lack experience and passion just to look back and see what they have already. So I think all of us talking about that and bringing that attention there might change things a bit.
Yeah, and on every event you learn something new. So even if you are an expert in a topic, then you get a question, or somebody else tells something about his company, and you say, okay, I didn't know that this is possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like my accountants hate me because I'm really bad in delivering invoices. So I think I need to build an AI model for that,
Yeah, now you know how to do this.
Yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you once again, Nicole. Thanks everyone for joining, and see you in an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah. See ya.
Okay,
Bye.
Nicole, thank you once again. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye. It was
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. So we have a gap in the presentation in the track. So I'm just going to open the slide for everyone to see. So where is that? So who joined for the Stacy Deer Stroll presentation? I'm sorry to announce that the unfortunate circumstances this speaker had to cancel. And we're sorry we are not able to bring you a placement session. Please join other active sessions or this track again at 11 a.m. EDT. So in an hour and 10 minutes, we're going to have another wonderful presentation from Sarah Patrick. So stick around and we'll hear something new, as always, in the Teams Day Online. So feel free to jump in other sessions and enjoy speakers there. All the sessions are recorded, so you'll be able to access them later after the event. And if you have any questions or just want to say hi, you can do that. My name is Odrus, and I'll be moderating this session. So I have a break right now as well, so I might jump into other sessions, see what's there. And I suggest you do the same as well. And I'll be here 10 minutes before the next presentation to give you a warm welcome and introduce another great speaker. So thank you for joining again, and see you soon.